For generations upon generations, humanity has looked up into the nighttime sky and wondered at the secrets that lurked in the shadows between the stars. We have mapped worlds, followed comets, and cataloged countless asteroids, long believing that our own solar system was a closed neighborhood in which everything was bound by orderly laws. But then, every now and then, the universe reminds us that we're not the sole players on this grand stage. Initially intended to gaze back in time and grab the first light of galaxies formed since the Big Bang, the James Webb Space Telescope has recently been aimed at something quite different, something local, fast, and extraterrestrial. It has been dubbed 3 Atlas, an interstellar journeyman traversing with so much velocity and accuracy that natural causes simply fall short. At first believed to be nothing more than a rock, most likely a piece that had been flung from some far-off star system, this object soon started to challenge assumptions. Its orbit seemed too flawless, its surface too artificially reflective, and its motions uncharacteristically calculated. With Webb's cameras now taking the clearest images ever captured of this enigmatic visitor, a chilling possibility arises. 3 Atlas is not a comet or an asteroid but perhaps a machine, built by intelligent hands or something much older and more advanced than we can dream of. If so, then its arrival is not just a discovery. It could be a message. 3 Atlas was initially spotted on July 1 ST by the NASA-supported Atlas survey as no more than a feint against the black velvet of space. But within days, astronomers realized its exceptional character. Speeding at more than 133,000 miles per hour, it traveled faster than almost any object ever seen. Even more unsettling, it didn't react to the sun's gravity in the manner of normal bodies. Its trajectory was hyperbolic, proof it had arrived from interstellar space and, in theory, would return that way. That alone qualified it as one of the least common objects ever seen, only the third confirmed interstellar visitor after Oumuamua and Borisov. Yet different from them, 3 Atlas displayed a trajectory uncomfortably exact. It flew by Jupiter and Mars orbits before slingshotting around the Sun, so perfectly timed that Earth was on the far side when it was closest. Some scientists wrote this off as coincidence. Others believed it resembled avoidance. The initial pictures from Webb made the mystery even deeper. Rather than the usual jagged irregularities of an icy body, 3 Atlas had a smooth, highly reflective, geometric surface. Instead of careening wildly through space like a natural fragment, it spun steadily around its axis, as if anchored by some internal mechanism. Natural objects do not rotate thus, machines do. Where scientists had anticipated a dark, icy rock, Webb showed a surface that glowed like polished metal, radiating an artificial sheen no cometary ice could create. Although small, its reflectivity made it seem larger, as if crafted to attract notice rather than conceal. More disturbing still, Webb detected subtle but recurring thermal signatures along its surface. These were not the random emissions of a comet releasing gas and dust but laser-like bursts of heat, so regular they seemed like code. Natural things don't carry messages, but here was an interstellar object beaming patterns that implied purpose. How 3 Atlas braked its spin, steered its attitude, and managed its heat absorption seemed more technology than geology. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, who initially suggested that Oumuamua could be artificial, highlighted these facts as the best evidence yet for engineering design. Look for non-gravitational acceleration, he cautioned. Sure enough, Webb's readings picked up on minute but intentional course corrections, movements too subtle to be induced by sunlight or random outgassing. Something within 3 Atlas seemed to be guiding it. As additional data poured in, more bizarre revelations came to light. Analysts studying the infrared signatures found the pulses to be anything but random. They materialized in sequences, initially prime numbers, next Fibonacci sequences, then ratios suspiciously close to pi. These were not the idiosyncrasies of physics but the unequivocal signs of communication. For years, scientists investigating the possibility of extraterrestrial life have claimed that mathematics is the language of the cosmos, the only certain means of conveying intelligence across the galaxy. Now it was apparently occurring, not in radio signals but in heat, a faint, intentional message embedded in the manner in which the object dissipated energy. A few thought the signal was aimed at us, waiting for us to acknowledge it. Others were worried it was intended for someone or something else altogether. As rumor gathered, transparency dissolved. Governments and agencies that used to volunteer information in a spirit of cooperation clammed up. Observation logs went missing, databases were frozen, and new data was behind closed doors. Reporters trying to get to the bottom of things got only censored reports and platitudes. In the absence of official word, speculation ran rampant. Was 3 Atlas attempting to communicate with Earth? Or was Earth just listening in on a conversation never meant for us? With each new finding, the argument for an artificial origin grew. Its heat shielding, its stabilized spin, its coded thermal messages, and even feeble electromagnetic bursts picked up by Webb all argued for design, not accident. If 3 Atlas is a probe, then that means somewhere in the universe someone, or something, is making machines capable of interstellar travel, perhaps launched thousands or millions of years ago. If it is a machine, it is here for a reason. Some scientists theorize that it could be a surveyor, listing planets and civilizations as part of an enormous interstellar database. Others believe that it could be an ancient relic, an old structure still carrying out a mission long after its makers have been gone. The most unsettling theory is that it is a sentinel, going out of its way to time its revelation now that man has the technology to find and observe it. Its quiet, its evasion of Earth, its unmistakable patterns, these are less likely coincidence and more likely a test. Not a test of our science, but of our preparedness. If 3 Atlas is watching us, it is not necessarily here to speak. It can simply be here to determine what comes next. One aspect has become more and more challenging to ignore. 3 Atlas's path seems meticulously charted to bypass Earth. When compared to planetary orbits, its path glides along the gravity wells of Mars and Jupiter but avoids our own by millions of miles. At first, this also was dismissed as chance, the result of a random hyperbolic trajectory. But statistical calculations showed the chances of such flawless avoidance naturally are infinitesimally small. This is not cometary fragment chaotic drifting. It is precision. For some, this implied prudence. 3 Atlas could be intentionally holding back, looking from a distance without direct contact. For others, it implied strategy, a sophisticated probe making sure that it could watch us without premature detection. If so, a disturbing question comes to mind: how many times has it, or its kind, transited our solar system without our knowing it? Webb's high-resolution thermal scans provided another peculiarity. Unlike naturally occurring bodies that spin freely and face all sides to the sun's heat, 3 Atlas preserved one side nearly perpetually facing the sun, as if it had a shield. It reflected sunlight with remarkable efficiency, reflecting back radiation far better than the rest of the object. It suggested deliberate design, perhaps a surface resistant to heat like our spacecraft thermal protection systems, but far, far more advanced. It seemed to resist solar radiation itself, as well as control internal heat with remarkable finesse. Other researchers suggested the shield could serve as a sail, harnessing the energy of the sun to power propulsion while safeguarding sensitive electronics. Others theorized it could be an actual cloaking device, offering only the appearance of reflection to conceal its nature. Whichever it was intended for, the presence of such a shield meant one inescapable truth: 3 Atlas was constructed to endure, not for days or years, but for eons of interstellar travel. The more deeply scientists dug into Webb's information, the more doubtful they were that 3 Atlas was flying solo. Subtle anomalies appeared in backgrounds of photos, muted reflections, gentle distortions, and potential smaller companions following in its path. Though these might have been camera effects, some analysts didn't see it that way. Crosschecks against ground-based telescopes yielded suggestions of secondaries, smaller, fainter, but with the same path. Could 3 Atlas be in a swarm, as some speculate other unexplained interstellar visitors could be? If so, Webb's initial image could have photographed not a solitary traveler but the vanguard of something more, a caravan of probes or pieces intentionally dispersed to collect data. This notion unsettled scientists. If this is just one among many, then what we are witnessing is not an anomaly but one vertex of a starry web. Initially, news of 3 Atlas spread like wildfire. NASA, ESA, and independent observatories traded results openly. But as Webb's images clarified and the anomalies became increasingly difficult to account for, that openness started to contract.